To be honest, I did not even expect I would be playing Strand on Warlock. I used to play Strand on my Hunter and also Titan. I preferred Prismatic over all the other suppliers. The reason is pretty simple. Prismatic is really good against all the mini bosses, the champions, because the versatility it provides or the capability to deal with all the mini bosses, the champions, and even the ice layer. That's the reason I also always preferred the Prismatic over all the other subclasses. But I just wanted to try some new stuff, so I decided to go with Strand, that too in Warlock. To be honest, I did not even unlock all the fragments in Strand Warlock, so guys could get a glimpse. I did not even touch Strand Warlock. So I'm here building this build. The reason is pretty simple. I found this build really powerful, especially the unraveling debuff and the damage that Threadlings does, thanks to the artifact perk, which greatly enhances Strand in our build. So we will be combining those artifact perks with our Strand supplies. We will be purely dealing with Strand in this video. So guys wanna add some arc and void, you guys are free to do so, but I preferred raw Strand damage to test the true capability of this build. Also guys, please remember, this build is so good now. The reason is because of the artifact perks. So please try to utilize the complete potential of this build. Once the season resets, you guys, this build may lose its potential. So now we're gonna go in a way that it looks pretty easy to understand. So I decided to go with to divide this in two phases. First one is the damage phase and the second will be the survivability phase. So coming to the damage phase, we're gonna utilize one artifact perk, that is the unraveling orb. So picking up an orb of power or tangle grand stand weapons, unraveling rounds. So that basically increases stand weapon damage and also helps us deal with the barrier champions. Now by this we're gonna spread that unraveling debuff, the small needle kind of stuff in completely through our battlefield. So damaging that particular unravel target will basically spawn a Threadling. This is gonna add as an extra damage source for our build. So for that we're gonna utilize the artifact perk, the hot shuttle. So dealing enough damage to unraveling target basically spawns a Threadling. So this is an extra source of our damage. Since we will be unraveling completely through our battlefield, we will constantly be making our Threadling spawn. Now we're also going with two shreds, you say, artifact perk. We'll also be severing through our battlefield, which will be coming ahead. So dealing sustained damage to a severed target, will also apply the unraveling debuff. The cycle loop goes on. We apply the unraveling debuff, we deal a sustained damage to that particular unravel target, and it basically spawns a Threadling. So that's our basic loop. So for the weapon of choice, I'd like to say you guys can go with at least one stand weapon to completely utilize the unraveling rounds potential. If possible, you guys also can go with multiple stand weapons. Now I like to say go with stand machine gun, and depending on the activity you play, you guys can go with other two weapons. It's completely your choice. The weapon I used in this build is the coil, the previous season's seasonal weapon. So this weapon has a pretty good decent amount of damage. So pick a weapon such a way that it has a decent amount of damage. You must not sacrifice your damage. That's the reason. So we also have one more way of triggering the unraveling debuff. That is by using our needle, the arcade needle. So we'll be having 3 targets of this melee. So by sticking our melee to the target, it basically unravels the target for a certain amount of seconds. Now for the aspects, we're gonna choose Mind Spun Invocation. You guys can choose anything here. It's completely your choice. I like to say you guys can go with either grapple grenade or the shackle grenade. If you guys need more raw damage, you guys can go with the grapple grenade. If you guys need more sustain or more suspending debuff, you guys can go with shackle grenade. Anything works fine. I basically tested both. Both works fine. It depends on your type of gameplay. For the next aspect, we're gonna choose the Wanderer, which we will be talking further. Now the most important fragment which perfectly suits our build, we're gonna go with Thread of Evolution. The reason is we will be creating threadings 24/7. So it basically enhances our threadings by moving faster and hurt more to the champions, the mini boss and every one of them. So this completes our damage base. So this is how we generate damage to the mini boss, the champions and all of them. So now let's come to the survivability phase. First one we're gonna go with Wild Wave artifact perk. So we'll be constantly generating tangles. The reason is if we defeat any target affected by Strand debuff, it basically generates the tangle. So if we throw tangle to the combatant, it basically severs the target. So this is one of the way to affect the sever debuff. So it basically reduces the damage received to us by around 40%. Now since we will be severing everything in our battlefield, we're going to use Disruptor Strike artifact. It basically decreases the sever damage more to around 52%. So if we defeat that particular severed enemy, we basically create a hotspot around that enemy. It basically grants us woven mail, which gives us the whooping around 45% damage resistance and also restores our HP by a certain amount. So this greatly boosts our survivability. Now imagine guys, you are decreasing the enemy damage to a whooping around 52%, and also you also have the overman which basically reduces the damage taken by you to up to 45%. So there is a mild chance that you're gonna die using this build unless and until you follow the basics right. Now the last but not the least, we are gonna use Defibrillating Blast. You guys don't know how many times I survived using this particular artifact perk. Upon sending a champion, basically heals you and applies grants you 10 stack of bolt charge. So this is one of the most important fragments to survive in the endgame content, to deal with high-end targets, the champions, everyone. Now for the aspects, the other aspect, we're gonna go with the Wanderer. So we will be constantly creating tangles because we're gonna affect Strand complete throughout our battlefield. So by destroying a tangle, which creates a suspending burst, which again adds an extra source of survivability in your build. It also has the second perk, Threadling Final Burst also creates the tangle. For the fragments part, we're gonna go with Thread of Generation. The reason is to spawn a grenade 24/7. So it basically the amount of damage deal will basically return the grenade energy back. By hitting a grenade energy, we spawn our Threadlings or suspending burst. That way you are never gonna die. For the next fragment, we're gonna use Thread of Isolation. Upon scoring several precision hits, it basically triggers a severing blast to within some meters. So upon killing that severed target, it basically creates a stand hotspot which heals you, which grants you the woven mail, which adds an extra 45 damage resistance. This way you are never gonna die. Finally, we are gonna go with Thread of Continuity. The stand debuffs which you will be applying will last for a 50% longer. You guys have a freedom of swapping this particular fragment to your choice, but it also acts an extra source of survivability rather than completely going with damage. We actually have a decent amount of damage in this build, so that's the reason we're gonna go with extra survivability options. So for the complete artifacts I have used in this build, you guys can see here. Similarly, the armor mods plays a crucial role in this build. So these are the armor mods which I've used. Feel free to copy or make any changes required as per your weapon of choices. So for the gameplay loop, everything starts by creating the tangle. You can start with your melee by inflicting the unraveling debuff. Then after killing the particular target affected by any stand debuff, it basically spawns a tangle. Then after picking a tangle and throwing to a target, it basically severs the target. Killing the severed target basically spawns the strand kind of thing, which basically heals you and grants you woven mail. So there comes our survivability. and we keep on inflicting the unraveling rounds after picking up the tangle. So this is our gameplay loop. This keeps on going. Pretty simple. Just remember a few things. Create a tangle by affecting Strand debuff, and pick up the tangle grants you unraveling rounds. Again inflict unraveling debuff. Kill a severed target. Gets you the one mail, and again keep on repeating the cycle. That's it. So that's it, guys. That's it for this build. Please make sure to understand what's going in this build rather than simply copying and copying stuff. So once you get to know the build better, once you get to know what's going in your build, then you will have freedom to make your own choices. That's the reason. Okay, that's it for this video, guys. Hope you guys have learned something. If you guys have learned something or get anything useful in this content, please make sure to drop a like and click that subscribe button. It basically motivates me a lot to do more videos, to get more amazing gameplays. That's it. Thanks for watching. Until then, keep enjoying and keep exploring. Bye.